Alright, welcome back this week. We have a very exciting episode planned with Joe Maxwell. We're going to interview him. We're going to talk about how he started running his gym, how he started Ninja, his coaching philosophy, all good stuff like that.
That's right. But before we get to that, we got to shout out our sponsor, Warped Wallies, who have shirts, stickers, and more for all you ninjas out there. Clever, funny designs, slogans, everything you need. Go to warpwallies.com and you can use code NINJATALK, NINJATALK, to get 15% off your Warp Wallies items. Warp Wallies, go smash that buzzer in style. See you guys after the break.
You are listening to Ninja Talk with the Bunny and Frog. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. New episodes every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Alright, everybody, we are here with Coach Joe. How you doing, Joe?
Doing fantastic. How are you boys doing?
Good, quite well, thank you. So, we got a bunch of questions for you here. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. Alright, I want to fire away with...
So how did you first get involved in Ninja?
I actually got started down in Houston, Texas, with Sam Sand and Daniel Gill and all them down south, like 10 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. What gym did you originally start training out of and
Iron Sports. That was the first one I ever saw. I actually lived 5-10 minutes away.
Oh yeah.
From them. Yeah.
So how did you how'd you find that that experience kind of motivated you to start your gym maximum effort?
Oh, so that's a whole nother story. From when I started to where I'm at now, it's been a crazy story. Like I said, I got into a car wreck. A girl wrecked her car while I was in it, and I ruptured C5, C6, and C7 in my neck. And I actually had to quit doing Ninja for a little while. And I thought I lost it all, to be honest with you, man. But I moved up here to New York to get better medical. And I was taking care of a property, and I ran into this guy that actually, he worked for a gymnastics gym, and he saw me jumping on hay bales. It was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of a Ninja Warrior?" And I laughed, and I was like, "Well, yeah, just a little bit." And he was like, "Hey, would you be interested in making a Ninja Warrior program in our gymnastics gym?"
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? Why not? And then I met my kids, and at the time, I still wasn't training. I was still kind of doing physical therapy. I got in a car wreck, man. It took me almost 2 or 3 years just to get back to going again. It was a long process for me.
Right.
But long story short, like I said, COVID happened. I quit working at the gymnastics gym. COVID happened, and my mom passed away. A bunch of stuff happened, and I pinky promised her I would always give the kids maximum effort before she passed. And I just went headfirst into this, and my wife kind of trusted me and gave me the kind of first little kickstart to get started.
Nice.
And we started in a 1,200 square foot building with 11-foot ceilings and a 10 by 20 rig. We had barely any obstacles, but I've been working with these kids at gymnastics for 5-6 years, right? So they already had, or four or five. Man, I haven't really thought about this in a while. It all kind of culminated into where we're at now, to where it's kind of, now we're in a 3,200 square foot building, 60, 80 foot lanes going all the way down.
Awesome. Yeah. That's so great. So at the gym maximum effort, you strictly run an elite. It's strictly an elite training facility. So how'd you decide that to go with that option versus open gyms and stuff like that?
So it's not, I wouldn't say strictly elite. It's a training studio. I want to separate us from other gyms. I want to separate us to what I do personally. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy teaching. I'm not a big fan of babysitting. Which is not, to each his own, right? There's nothing bad about what other people do. And I just want to make sure that that's clear. I'm not saying any model is better than anything, but this makes me happy. This helps me stay focused and help the kids that are here. So I'd say about 80-20 right? We do have a rec program that we have, that we get them started, right? Because you have to have your feeder program. But I definitely enjoy the more training part of Ninja. So
For sure.
That's my goal with it. So
Awesome.
Yeah. So do you have any like particular method you've had to develop your gym over time?
slow and steady, nothing crazy. Everything I have is paid for. So like no loans, no anything like that. Just slow pace, make the money first and then buy what we need. Right. And it just it's culminated into pretty much where we have almost everything. So,
yeah, you do have like every single obstacle.
You know what I mean? It's
basically everything.
Yeah, it takes, God's really led this for me. My birthday's tomorrow, right? So I'll be 38
Awesome.
years old.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. And I have everything I've ever wanted and ever dreamed. I've ever prayed for, right? I have a 2-year-old son, beautiful wife, and a great set of community people that have behind me. And Dax, like you said, you've been here several times, right?
Yeah.
Like the goal for me with this is to help those that want to get stronger and give kids that don't have the confidence to get stronger, right? So, that's it's taken me a while to get here, man. But like I said, I wouldn't change anything. So
that's so great for sure. So as well, like we've spoken earlier, you've got your whole competitive team. So could you dive like a little bit more into like your coaching philosophy and like how you coach your kids?
So the number one thing is I try to focus on our logo or our saying that we say with the kids all the time is max out, right?
Yeah.
It's bigger than just winning, right? Like, I don't care if we get podiums. That's never been I tell my kids all the time, it's never been like, oh my gosh, you have to get a podium. No, just max out. If you can get 1% better every practice, every day, every comp, dude, that adds up in time. And I'm not just talking about like today, tomorrow, right? I'm talking about like 5 years down the road, right? Like, these kids are going to be adults one day. You guys are all going to be adults one day, right? And I got it. Max out means something to me, right? And I need it to mean something to them. And it's just something we all buy in, right? Everybody's bought into the philosophy. They love it. They train really, really hard. I really don't have to force the kids to be here. You know what I mean? Like, they love being dedicated here. And I love to challenge athletes. I love to challenge their mind. I love putting on comps, right? Like, that's one of my favorite things to do. That's why we do it right before my birthday, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's my best birthday present ever, is to tell a story during a comp. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Great tips.
And what would you say is your favorite part about coaching?
Watching anybody, to be honest with you, and I'll coach you, I don't care what shirt you're wearing. Watching anybody overcome something that they're scared of, right? That is my favorite part. And having them believe and trust themselves. I say it all the time, trust yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like, your parents can't do it for you, right? Like, you have to learn to trust yourself. You guys, like I said, you're going to get older and you're going to have jobs and you're going to have 9-to-5s, and you got to understand what. If you don't trust yourself now or build that now, it's going to be hard to get it later.
Yeah, for sure. I know even this weekend, like at the comp that you just recently had, especially in the younger divisions, in particular, the airmail obstacle where you had to like leap from the bar, catch it, drop into the hooks, for sure. Definitely, at least for younger divisions, definitely a scary obstacle, which is likely the reason that majority of the athletes fell on that one.
Oh, absolutely. And that was something I needed. We put it towards the end, right? It was the last obstacle. I wanted to be friendly. I didn't want to kill anybody at the beginning, right? But like, I need them to learn to trust themselves, right? I think your sister crushed it. So I'll tell you that right now. So it's just one of those things that, like, if you can overcome, and I think what got them is the height of the obstacle.
It was pretty high.
Not so much the obstacle itself. Because it's really not that far. All they had to do was just lean forward and jump, right? But like, kids don't trust themselves. They, some kids don't, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's just the journey that we're on as coaches, and we have to learn to push our athletes in the right direction, right? And that's I need people to know when they come here, I'm going to give you the best I can, and we're going to tell a story, and I'm going to throw something at your kids that's going to make them a better person or a better athlete at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. So
as I work on something new right now.
Yeah. Speaking of that, actually, you're building obstacles in the background. You've built a ton in the past. Do you have like a favorite build or design that you've like created?
My favorite all-time build so far was probably this past competition. Matt Bradley came out, and it was such a joy and pleasure to work with him and bring this vision that I've had for almost a month and a half now to life. And we've made a few adjustments, right? Because a couple of the obstacles didn't fit where I wanted them to go. But man, having somebody of Matt's caliber here was like having another me. It was crazy. Dude, yeah. I was done by 10:30 that night. Like I've never been done rigging a comp before midnight and testing by 2 a.m. right? Wow. Ever. So it was such a breath of fresh air. So it was, to be honest with you, all the combination of all those obstacles together was probably one of my favorites so far.
Awesome.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite memories in like the ninja community?
One of my favorite ones for me personally, and this is probably me being a little selfish, was finally winning the New England Regionals last year, right? Like that was 2 years before I fell on the first obstacle in front of everybody. And it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my career. And I it ate me alive that I knew I could do better, but my foot slipped, as you know, it happens. It's ninja. And I didn't give up. I just kept training. I dropped down from elites to adults to kind of like let my body heal a little bit. Cause like I said, I'm almost 40 now. So, I'm not the Mr. Spring Chicken anymore like I used to be. And, so that was one of my great moments. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed to kind of defend my title this year in New England. So.
That would be great.
Yeah,
for sure. So, obviously there's like all these different like obstacles. Like what do you think is like the most important thing for like ninjas to train, and like what's your favorite thing to like train your students?
So fitness, right? Fitness and not a lot of ninjas like to do fitness, right? But if you're not physically strong enough to do the obstacles, right? Now you're just putting yourself in a situation to where you could possibly get hurt, like permanently, right? Like tendons, elbows, grip strength, all that stuff, core. It's all fitness. All ninja is just a fun way of doing fitness. So if you can do the basics, push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, pull-ups, all that stuff, like ninja can be done safer. Like you can do it and become strong. But that's what we do here. Like I said, we're a training studio. So I tend to do a lot more fitness related stuff. My favorite one that I love to do, or the one that I harp the most on them, is probably sit-ups, right? Because you got to have a strong core, a strong core. So,
sure. So, what's your favorite ninja event that you've attended?
So far, Ultimate Obstacles really always puts on a good regionals. I always enjoy myself and having fun. You know what? I'm going to have to give this to Worlds. Worlds last year was probably one of the best Worlds I've ever been a part of. I never got to make it to the 2019 one with the swivel steps of doom because I was still injured back in the day. See, guys, I remember when ninja, the hardest obstacle was a giant cannonball, right? Like that was the ninja killer. Right now, look at what we're doing now. Now look at what these kids are doing. It's blossomed into such a beautiful thing that like, I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Right? Like it's the generation that's coming below us, and y'all's generation is so strong athletes. So I think Worlds was a good one, but pretty much all of them, man. Watching all you kids just jam just makes my day, because that just means the sport's going in the right direction.
Yeah,
right?
That's all that matters. For sure.
I'm super cheesy, Dex. You know me.
Yeah. So, like, being a coach and, as you mentioned earlier, also like an athlete, you compete at regionals, worlds, so on. How do you like balance out being like a competitor and a coach?
So hard. That is one of the hardest things I've had to learn to overdo and put myself, almost take a step back, right? And not kill myself trying to keep up with everybody, right? Like, I used to train 4 or 5 days a week. So now I only train maybe 2 or 3, depending on what comp's coming up, and how my body feels. Not saying that I can't keep up with the best of them, but it does take me a little while to get warmed up, right? So finding the balance has been something it was hard for me. The last, I don't know, a year ago when my son was born, right? I spent like 1,000 hours in this gym building, trying to get this thing built and all that to now it's done, right? Now I don't have to be here. I don't have to come here till 2:00 to help set up now, right? So finding the balance has been, I don't know, I'm still learning it. Let's put it that way. There you go. Yeah, I'm still learning how to balance. Putting my kids first before my needs at this point is where I'm at. So
yeah.
Good question, boys. Good question.
Do you have a favorite type of course to watch or to run on, like speed, hybrid, or burnout?
Let's see. So the old me, I would probably love me a good old hybrid, right? Now I'm probably more of a fan of the burnout, just because I trust myself and my grip, right? If I can grab it, it's mine, right? Yeah. So, hybrid would probably, the younger me would definitely be a hybrid, because I love techie stuff. I love changing directions. I love the U-turn at our comp for the teens. Yeah, right. Like that was one of my favorite obstacles we've designed, because it was just a weird turn, right? Like, and that's the type of stuff you would see in a hybrid.
Yeah, so. That's so cool. I know definitely every time I stop by Maximum Effort, we always run a pretty wicked burnout. So. Oh,
absolutely, and it's pretty lit. Now, and the gym's kind of set towards I can do speed, burnout, and hybrid in the gym at one time.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it's pretty much what we want to do for the day. But I would say nowadays burnout would definitely be one of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's all we got for today. But before we leave, we got to do our joke of the week.
Let's go.
Joke of the week. Hey!
All right.
Owen, hop in.
Why shouldn't you buy a house from a ninja?
Why shouldn't you buy a house from a ninja? I don't know.
Because all the walls are warped.
Ah, that's a good one. I'm going to tell my wife that one. That's going to be awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys, man, and appreciate your time. And
appreciate you.
Hopefully I can get you back out here, Dex. We'll run that course again.
100%. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, boss. Have a blessed day, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Later, guys.